Wouldn't it be nice to have a simplified, streamlined process that you can follow each and every day with every new lead list or every new real-time lead that comes into your workflow? That's what we're going to start talking about. And that's what you can do when using the advanced search feature in PhoneBurner and saving those searches. For those of you who've been following along in this training modules, we've been talking about the advanced search section or feature in the system. And we've been going through each of these sections, talking about all of the different things you can search by within PhoneBurner. You may have noticed that I have some quick views over here on the left-hand side. These are all designed to help me systematically work through my data in a streamlined fashion. And no, those are not just buzzwords. That's what we do here at PhoneBurner, is help you think through and put together a process of systematically working through your data. And that's what we're going to talk about on this training video. So buckle up, we're going to go through and we're going to create several saved searches. I know we haven't talked about saved searches much yet, but we're going to be talking about it a lot now. We're going to do quite a few as we work through this specific training. So let's think about this. Let's put a scenario together. Let's say every time you have a specific type of lead, you want to make sure that that lead or those leads get worked the exact same way. And they never get lost, unless of course you've told them to get lost, right? With a disposition. So how can we do this? Very easily with saved searches, right? Every time you import data into PhoneBurner, those contacts have to go into a folder. Let's say, for example, that's our leads folder, right? Every time I have a new contact, I put it in the leads folder. We give you a contacts folder out of the box. So you have a contacts folder. You don't have to create something for this process, at least to start the process. We're going to have to create saved searches because everybody's process is a little bit different. But you just have to decide what is the starting point. Where do all of my records go to kick this off? That could be that could be a custom folder like leads, or that could be your contacts folder. So once you've decided what folder it is that's going to kick this off, we're going to build everything off of that. Anyway, let's get into it. So we're going to click on the advanced search, and I'm going to use the leads folder as our example in this specific training. So the first thing I need to do, once I've made that decision, I open up the advanced search, I go here to the folder section, and I choose the folder that I'm going to be putting my leads in. So my leads folder. What is the next thing? We need to find every record in the leads folder that has yet to be called. So we're going to go to the dial session section. See, these are all sections that we've talked about, but now we're going to start combining them to improve our efficiency. So I'm going to go to dial sessions, and there's a couple different ways I can do this. I could do total calls equals 0, or I can go to last called equals never, right? So we got contact has never been called and in the leads folder, right? So the reason why we want to define a folder and not just say, hey, every lead that has never been called, is if you create different campaigns, different groups of contacts, you want to be able to treat them differently, right? So here we are. We've got our leads folder and all of the contacts that have never been called, or total calls equals 0. This is going to be leads call 1, or whatever you want to call it. This is how you create a saved search. All you have to do is choose a criteria, give it a name, and search. Done. We now have a saved search called leads call 1. But you'll notice it's not in the upper left-hand portion of my page. It is a saved search. It's down here with all of my other saved searches. These are pinned saved searches up here. So if we go back up here, very easy to pin them. You just go down here and click the little pin. And now you'll see it. They are in order here based off of the order you pin them in the Save Search menu. So we'll talk about that again a little bit later. First off, we got to build out our process. We know we want to call everybody at least once, so we got that. But now we need to talk about calling them a second time, a third time, a fourth time. In this particular case, we're going to do 7 phone calls. What do they say? A lot of those experts say you got to reach out to people 7 times to connect and all that stuff. So we're gonna do that, right? We're gonna create a 7-call process here at PhoneBurner. So we know we're gonna make that first phone call. Now we need to create the second phone call. So we're gonna go to the advanced search menu. We're going to go down to folder and we're going to say leads, right? Everything starts with leads. And then we're going to go to the dial session section. We're going to look for all of our contacts that have been called one time. Now we can go here. We can do total calls equals 1. But for those of you who watched the training about the dial session section, you'll know that this could become a problem if we have contacts with multiple phone numbers or if we call the contact on the same phone number multiple times in the same session. So we are not going to use total calls. We're going to use total call attempts. So we've attempted to reach these contacts or these leads 1 time, and we could potentially just start here. This could be our leads call 2, right? And hit search. And boom, we now have our saved search. But the problem is we didn't take into account the date of that first call. We didn't do anything about that, right? So we could do our leads call 1 and then go to our leads call 2, and the same people that were in leads call 1 this morning are now in leads call 2, which you might want to be the case. But if you don't, we need to edit this save search. So I'm going to click on Edit Save Search. That's going to bring up my Save Search menu with all of the criteria that I've already done in there. And we're going to take advantage of the last called date, right? So in our dial session section for last called, we're going to choose before. Wait a second. This could become a problem if we just choose a date. Like if I say anybody who was called before today or yesterday, that's a problem because it'll quickly get out of date, right? Because this date's not changing. Like I set a specific date and that's going to stay. So that's not going to work for us. Let's go down here. The best way to do this, in my opinion, is before X days ago. So go to before X days ago. If we put in 0 here, that'll exclude everybody who's called today. And that might be what we want. When we have new leads in here, we might want to call them today and tomorrow, right? So we do before X days ago, and we choose 0. Leads call 2 would be on day 2. Now, of course, if there's a weekend, they'll be there for us on Monday. No harm there. And then we update the search. Now, another thing that we might want to do with these, in addition to pinning them, let's go back to our Manage Save Searches page. We can pin it. But another thing we might want to do is edit the description of this to remind us why we created this. So we're going to change the description to lead calls that have been called 1 time and it was yesterday or later. Save changes. And there we go. So let's go back to contacts. Now if I mouse over this, I'll be able to see what this save search is all about without having to click on it and edit it to review what I've done there. So descriptions can be handy if you go and update them. You just have to go in and update them after the fact. So that's our second call. So we got first call on day 1. We import the data. Boom, they're there. Let's call them. Everybody we called today is going to be ready for us to call tomorrow. But do we want our third call to be right after that? Maybe not. Let's create a new save search. This save search is, again, in the folder leads. In the dial session section, we're looking for total call attempts is 2, right? So we've called them twice. We're going to do our third phone call. And the last call was before X days ago. That might be 1. So now there's going to be 2 days. So we do call 1 on day 1, call 2 on day 2, skip a day, and then on day 4, we're going to do call 3. This is leads call 3. Give it a name, hit search, boom, we are done with that save search. Now let's go ahead and create our next one. Let's do folder leads. Total calls equals, in this case, 3, because it's going to be our 4th call. And maybe we want to put a little bit more time in there. So we do before X days ago. Maybe we put a couple days between there. And this is going to be leads call 4 search. We're halfway there, right? Oh, look, we've got somebody on that one in our lead list. Now let's go ahead and click the advanced search. Let's choose our leads folder. Total calls equals 4 because we're doing call 5 and before X days ago. And let's go 4 days this time. Leads call 5. Search. Nobody. Now we need to do our 6th call, so we're going to do leads 5 before X days ago. Let's do 6 days. Apply. Leads call. Oh, wait. Leads call 6. Search. And now we need our 7th call. So let's go ahead and click advanced search. Leads call 7. That's going to be 6 calls here. Before X days ago, maybe we want 7 days between that call. And it's our leads folder. Search. Now let's go back here. So now we've got them. Let's pin them so they're up there. And they are our focus. And contacts. Here they are. Leads call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we've given them 7 calls. One other thing that I would recommend that we do here is once we've called them 7 times, that doesn't mean we want to throw them away, right? We want to continue to nurture them. So if they're still in the leads folder and we've called them 7 times, meaning we haven't dispositioned them into some other folder as like not interested or bad number, they're still in our leads folder. So they're still viable leads potentially, right? So we're going to click on the advanced search. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a nurture folder. Or say, we're going to create a nurture save search. Leads nurture. Leads folder, dial session. This is going to be, instead of equals exactly, we're going to do greater than equal to 7, right? So we're doing 7 phone calls, so we might need to do greater than equal to, yeah, once they hit that 7th phone call, they're done. So this is where we need to pick up, yeah. And instead of a few days, we're going to do something like last call before 30 days ago. So now every month we're going to reach out to them, give or take, right? Depends on how quickly we get to them. So now we have a full process in place for us to follow. Let's go ahead and pin this last one. And now all I have to do is import my data into the leads folder. When I import data into the leads folder, it kicks this process off. And now, when I come into work every day, I start at the top and I work my way down. I go to leads. Do I have contacts to call? Okay, great. Select all, begin a dial session, call through them. Once I'm done with that, I jump over to leads call 2. Do I have any contacts to call here? Select all, begin dial session. Down to 3. Select all, begin dial session. Call 4. Select all, begin dial session. All the way down, and then eventually I get to nurture leads. I select all and begin dial session. So every day I don't have to think about who to call because I know I should be calling these people because they're still in my leads folder. I didn't disposition them into some other folder. They're not in my appointments folder. I haven't scheduled a follow-up with them, right? So I've got that process in place. Now, do I forget about follow-ups? No, I still need to work through my today's follow-ups because those are people I've talked to. So once I've completed all my appointments and my follow-ups, that's when I get into prospecting mode and I just work through these buckets. I'm emptying those buckets. And if I get to a point where I'm emptying these buckets early in the day, that tells me my lead flow is low. I need to get more leads at the top of the funnel to work my way through, to work their way through this pipeline. And then I can recreate this for multiple campaigns. Remember, it's all based off that folder. So it gives me the ability to create different campaigns by just assigning them to creating the saved searches and importing the data into different folders. So anyway, I know that was a lot. We covered a lot. But I think this is extremely valuable information to help you create a systematic, streamlined process that you can follow day in and day out and not have to worry about losing track of your leads. Because as long as they're in that leads folder, they're on your radar. They're not going to get lost. They'll pop up again when they're due to pop up. So anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope this helps you and your organization get more done in less time using the power of PhoneBurner. Thanks again and happy dialing.